Hey, what's up guys? CombatCritique here. Let's take a look at this upcoming fight between Tim Elliott and the undefeated Muhammad Mokaev. So let's get started. If we look at the records of these two guys, starting with Tim, so Tim has 32 fights in total. He has won 19 of his 32 fights and lost 12. He also has one draw on his record. If we talk about his 19 wins, he has 3 wins via knockout, 6 wins via submission, and 10 wins via decision. So most of his wins have been decisions, and if we talk about his 12 losses, he has just one loss via knockout, 5 losses via submission. So he is susceptible to getting submitted, and he has 6 losses via decision. If you talk about his submission record, he has 6 wins and 5 losses, and it is pretty much 50-50. So he is definitely susceptible to getting subbed. And now let's take a look at Muhammad Mokaev's records. Mokaev has 11 fights. He's won 10 of his 11 fights, lost none, and he has won no contest on his record. If we talk about his 10 wins, he has 2 wins via knockout, 5 via submission, and 3 via decision. So this man is really a submission guy, and this is looking at Tim Elliott's record. This looks like a weak point for him. Now let's take a look at the physical and career statistics of both these guys, starting with the height. So height is 5'7" for Tim Elliott, and it is also 5'7" for Mokaev. So both these guys are pretty even. Weight is 125 pounds for both these guys. I don't think anybody will miss weight. Reach is 66 inches for Tim Elliott, and it is 70 inches for Mokaev. So Mokaev will have a 4-inch reach advantage. If we talk about the stance, it is southpaw for Tim Elliott and orthodox for Mokaev. Talking about the age, and there's a huge difference in age. Tim Elliott is, I believe, 37 now, and he is really old for the division. Whereas if we talk about Mokaev, so Mokaev is barely 23 years old. He is a really young fighter, and he has a lot to improve. He has around 10 years to hit his prime. There's enough time for him to reach his physical prime. Whereas Tim Elliott is past his physical prime, and I think it's only downhill from here for Tim Elliott. I think age can be a huge factor in this fight. Now let's take a look at the career statistics, starting with the strikes landed per minute. So this is the average number of significant strikes you land in 1 minute on your opponent. This is 3.47 for Tim Elliott, and it is just 1.14 for Muhammad Mokaev. So in this case, Tim Elliott is landing a lot more significant strikes on his opponents, and he will have an advantage. Next up, we have the striking accuracy, which is 44% for Tim Elliott, and it is 54% for Muhammad Mokaev. So even though Tim Elliott has a striking advantage, the striking accuracy advantage goes to Muhammad Mokaev. He is more accurate with his strikes. Next up, we have the strikes absorbed per minute, and this signifies the number of significant strikes that you absorb per minute. This is 2.76 for Tim Elliott, and it is just 0.87 for Muhammad Mokaev. So a clear advantage goes to Muhammad Mokaev here. He is getting hit lesser. That is why you want this number to be as low as possible. Next up, we have the striking defense, which is 56% for Tim Elliott and 61% for Muhammad Mokaev. So again, the advantage goes to Mokaev. Overall, I believe the Muhammad Mokaev is a slightly better striker than Tim Elliott. Now let's take a look at the wrestling, grappling, and BJJ statistics. Starting with the takedown average, it is 3.88 for Tim Elliott and more than double that number, 7.34 for Muhammad Mokaev. So he will have a huge advantage here. Takedown accuracy is 47% for Tim Elliott and it is 53% for Muhammad Mokaev. So again, an advantage goes to Mokaev here as well. Next up, we have the takedown defense, which is 60% for Tim Elliott, and this 60% will definitely be tested in this fight by Muhammad Mokaev. If we talk about the takedown defense of Mokaev, it is 0%. Most likely, I don't think Mokaev really wants to defend a takedown. If you want to take him down, he'll let you take him down because he is so confident in his submission skills. Talking about submission skills, submission average is 0.9 for Tim Elliott and it is 1.3 for Mokaev. So again, the advantage goes to Mokaev. He looks like he is a better BJJ guy the better submission artist, and his record also suggests that he has 5 wins. Half of his wins have been submission wins. Now let's take a look at the significant strikes by position for both these guys, starting with Tim Elliott. So 62% of all the strikes that Tim Elliott throws are from the standing position, 18% from the clinch, and 20% on the ground. If we compare this with Mokaev, so 65% of all the strikes that Mokaev throws are from the standing position, 2% in the clinch, and 33% on the ground. So Muhammad Mokaev uses ground game, ground and pound a lot more in his game compared to Tim Elliott. And Muhammad Mokaev, however, does not like to fight in the clinch. Next, let's take a look at the significant strikes by target, starting with Tim Elliott. So 58% of all the strikes that Elliott throws are to the head, 20% to the body, and 21% to the leg. Compare this with Mokaev. Mokaev throws 45% to the head, 39% to the body, so he goes to the body more often than Tim Elliott, and 16% to the leg. Tim Elliott uses leg kicks more in his game compared to Mokaev. Now let's take a look at the previous performances of these two guys, starting with Tim Elliott. So Tim, in his last fight, beat Victor Altamirano via unanimous decision, and this fight happened in June of this year. It was a 3-round fight. Tim Elliott is not taking a lot of time off. He has been out for a while before this fight. Before this fight, he beat Tagir Ulanbekov via unanimous decision. This fight happened in March of last year, and this was also a 3-round fight. So he took quite a few time off, and now he is coming back to fight once again in 2023 after a gap of about 4 months. If we talk about the fight before that, he lost to Matthews Nicolau via unanimous decision, and this happened in October of 2021, again a 3-round fight. He beat before that Jordan Espinoza via unanimous decision. This was in March of 2021. It was again a 3-round fight. He also beat Ryan Benoit via unanimous decision in a 3-round fight back in July of 2020. And before that, he was on a 3-fight losing streak where he lost to Brandon Royal via submission arm triangle choke, Askar Askarov via unanimous decision, and Figueiredo via guillotine choke in the very first round. Before that, he beat Mark De La Rosa via submission anaconda choke, and this is the most recent finish win that he has on his record. This happened in December of 2017, so this man has not had a finish in quite some time now. All of his wins are unanimous wins, or decision wins I should say. The Ulanbekov win, the Jordan Espinoza win, and the Ryan Benoit win. Now let's take a look. Even the Victor Altamirano win was a unanimous decision win. Now let's take a look at Muhammad Mokaev's records. Mokaev does not have a lot of UFC experience. He does not have a lot of pro MMA experience in general, but he has had quite a bit of amateur fights prior to becoming a pro. And if we talk about his previous few fights, in his last fight he beat Jafil Filio via submission neck crank, and this happened in the 3rd round. This fight happened in March of this year. However, Muhammad Mokaev faced a lot of criticism for this fight online because of his submission defense. Filio almost caught him and he almost submitted him or broke his leg. I think Mokaev, if he fights the way he fights in the Filio fight, then I don't think he will become a champion. The people at the top of the division are really, really good, and if you can, get in a knee bar like that, I don't think if you get in a knee bar like that against top guys, you are tapping or either they will break your leg. So this was a really bad performance, but nevertheless Mokaev still won this fight. He is still undefeated 10-0. If we talk about the fight before that, Mokaev beat Malcolm Gordon via submission armbar in the 3rd round. This fight happened in October of last year. Before this, he beat Charles Johnson via unanimous decision in July of last year. This was again a 3-round fight. He beat Cody Durden via guillotine choke in the very first round. This fight happened also in March of last year. And before that, he was out of the UFC, but he beat Brian Otis Colley via submission rear naked choke in the 2nd round and had an NC, which was due to an accidental groin kick. in the very first round in June of 2021. So this man does not seem to have a lot of pro MMA experience, but he says he has a lot of amateur fights and he was undefeated even as an amateur. If I have to pick a winner, I think I'm gonna go with Muhammad Mokaev. I think he is the younger, fresher guy, and we have seen the stats. He has the better striking as well as the better wrestling and BJJ. I think he should win this fight. Also, this UFC Abu Dhabi card seems to favor a lot of these Russian Muslim guys. I think this goes well with Muhammad Mokaev, and for these reasons, I am picking him to win this fight. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next video.